I am out of the coffee shop. It was nice. I was in there for a few hours. It kept raining and thundering and lightning, so I felt bad that Pierre is at home by himself instead of having me there to comfort him. So I didn't finish my matcha. I ended up getting a matcha latte mixed with 1 shot of espresso. I've never done that before, but I saw Natalie Stringfield, one of my favorite bloggers here. She did that, but she also added some extra stuff in it. I was like, oh, I'm scared this is gonna be too sweet. So they did a matcha latte with oat milk, half sweet, and I added a shot of espresso. I feel like I'm missing a little something. She put brown sugar syrup in hers. I don't know if they have that, but I'm gonna try. I'm sure they do. They have a wall full of syrups. So next time I come back here, I am going to add like some brown sugar in there. And I may do whole milk. I may do whole milk instead of oat milk. So at this point, I'm gonna go back home. The meeting that I did have got canceled. So I still have meetings, but they're later in the afternoon. But I'm gonna go back home now and finish working. I just got into a good flow, but then I also had to use the restroom, and I feel like once I get up to use the restroom, it's just time for me to go. It's like you gotta pack your stuff up. Like the place I was sitting was too far from the restroom, blase squaze. So I'm going to head back home to see my son, and I'll catch you later. Back home, but I'm still not quite feeling the office vibe. I'm actually not going to turn on the light. But I decided to move out to my living room to work. You see, I got my Baddie light. I just bought a lamp from Lowe's, and I got a colored light bulb in there, and it came with this remote that changes colors. So I can choose the vibe. I can increase the brightness on it. I think it's as bright as it's gonna get. So green, blue, green, purple. I think I'm gonna go with I want to keep it here, like a pink. So, got my lighting. Then I have my other lamp lit over here as well. I'm not doing any major lights. And then I have my standing desk that I got from Amazon. Let me show you. So, I have this desk. And I'm just going to use that while I sit here. And I'm going to work from here until I get tired. Purr. Hola. So today we are going to a new workout class. You're in enemy territory. Okay, so first thoughts after finishing F45 first class. That was hard. It was extremely hard. And it was hard because it was cardio, and I'm not a cardio girl, but that's also the reason I liked it. So I can see myself doing this once every week or every 2 weeks to make sure I get my cardio in, you know what I mean? No. I just got out of the shower and I'm getting ready to cut up vegetables for our meal prep this week. But before I do that, I'm going to oil my cuticles. I saw this on a YouTube channel. I forgot the YouTube channel, but I watched a couple of videos. It's like from a nail tech woman, all about healthy nails, because I really want to focus on growing out my nails and just having beautiful looking nails, you know? So right now I'm just slathering my cuticle and like my nail bed in castor oil and jojoba oil. That's what's mixed in here. And I also use this on my hair too. So I'm gonna slather it on there. I'm gonna rub it all on my hands. I already did this with my feet. I put like Vaseline on my feet and put socks on. But I'm going to wear these gloves, and it's sort of like a hot oil treatment, but for your hands. She like dipped the oil in hot water, you know, to make it a true hot oil treatment. But I'm just going to kind of just leave the oil on my hands and put a cap on it. Like if you're a black girl that does deep conditioning treatments, then you know what this is, right? So I'm going to cut up veggies while this records, and then while this is soaking. But the good part about this also is that I don't have to take these gloves off. Like these gloves work on my phone easily. So if I need to work on my phone, I could do that, but I'll be cutting. And I also know I'm about to get my hands wet from rinsing these off. So that's another plus. Like I don't want to dry my hands out after I just moisturize them and slather oil on them. And they are all in containers. Something I like to do to preserve the life of the vegetables is to layer a paper towel in them. So I'll turn this upside down so that any excess water can like drain down to the paper towel and they'll stay fresher longer. So we got sweet peppers, cucumbers, I got some tomatoes in here. I put a layer of paper towel up here and a layer of paper towel up here. I just put this back in the same container. So I probably want to put more paper towel in this, honestly. And then last night, Eric already chopped up the broccoli. I kind of want to take a chopper and make them smaller just because they're like really big chunks. Maybe I'll do that with my own individual salad. Je ne sais. So I think I'm just going to put these few dishes in the dishwasher, and I think I'm done with my chores in the kitchen. We just have pasta to make and meat to make, and Eric's gonna do that because he's the man.
You want someone else to do what you were taught that you.
Oh, you got stage fright?
Yeah. Right here?
It's in this complex.
Well, I can't turn right here. So I'm getting combo 1. Garlic butter and lemon pepper. That sounds good. I'm gonna add garlic noodles. Can you get fried rice?
You don't want sausage?
Yeah. Eric, don't be jealous of me. Oh yeah, you can't. I think I want this.
Hi, welcome in.
You want me to take your cake out? I'll leave it in the box for you. You can unbox your own cake. I saw a video of a girl who went through magazines, and LOL, I'm going through my AARP magazine. Yes, I am a member. And I'm cutting out letters, but she had a container of letters. So it's just like, she doesn't have to look through them. Like, I guess whenever she gets a magazine, she just cuts out all of the letters. She sorts them into different compartments, and she just always has the letters ready. I don't know if I'm at that point in my life yet, but I will keep these magazines and just keep magazines in general so that I always have letters to go through. Because I always like to, you know, have the different letters. Like, that's still a cute vibe to me. But I think I'm making like a cover page for February. So this is the finished product. I actually really love it. It's so cute. So the next page I need to work on is Valentine's Day and Pierre's birthday. So that'll be here and or here. I've been doing a lot of thinking about like what this vlog is actually about. Let me crank it up. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what this vlog is actually about. And the reason I think it's so difficult for me to come up with a concept for this vlog is because I'm addicted to self-improvement. I want to be able to provide value to you and everything that I put out, because I'm like, well, why would somebody want to watch this? Why would somebody want to watch me just go about my day with basically no insight on how to be a better baddie? And it got me thinking about like how being addicted to self-improvement is it could be a horrible addiction, right? Because your self-improvement journey can quickly turn into one where you are constantly criticizing yourself, or feel like if you're not grinding or trying to change something about yourself, then you aren't actually living the right way. I have my morning liquids with me. I have my microphone connected to my shirt. Hopefully it does not move. I'm gonna put my water back here. I wanna finish my coffee, but I guess the idea or the thought, I remember the first time I got kind of fed up with self-improvement. It was like last summer. And I just got so sick and tired of hearing how to improve your life, how to be more confident, how to do this, how to be a better version of yourself. And I think that I've kind of tried to combat that through my content by including how to deal with people in your life or how to identify these types of things. But I still do get caught up in the being a better baddie, right? Because that's essentially what my entire channel is about. That's the foundation. But I found myself wanting to only watch entertainment or entertaining content, or not even listen to podcasts. So even though I said I don't want to talk about self-improvement, if you found yourself in a similar situation where you are constantly trying to improve yourself or maximize your life and it's getting kind of draining, I can tell you about some of the things that I did to combat that, because it can be a draining space and it can turn into a negative space where you feel like you're not constantly optimizing or trying to improve. Remember that self-growth should be about enhancing your life, not draining your life. A couple of things that I do to like kind of create this balance of self-improvement and still loving myself, because also it's hard to constantly always want to fix something about yourself and say, I'm perfect just the way I am, or I love me. Granted, you're not going to say you're perfect just the way you are, but it's still that balance. If you constantly are picking, digging at a scab on something that's wrong with you, then you're going to bleed out. And I have no idea if that made sense. But one of the first things that I did is I like created off limits time for self-improvement. Now, when I tell you I'm a former self-improvement junkie, I mean it. Wake up, listen to a podcast. Go to sleep, listen to a podcast. On a walk, listen to a podcast about it. Get out the books about it. Read the book. Like, I'm trying to be the most perfect version of myself. So The off limits time is definitely before I go to sleep. And I found that when I listen to like a self-improvement podcast to fall asleep or before I go to sleep, I would be hooked and my brain would not go to sleep. My brain was activated, right? Fully thinking about all the things I needed to do and all the things that I should do or all the things that I did wrong. So listening to these self-improvement audiobooks and self-improvement podcasts before I went to sleep did not do me any favors at all. It just led to me being stressed out, not sleeping. Tell me why at one point I was reading a book about the importance of falling asleep, to fall asleep. And then when I didn't go to sleep, I was stressed about not going to sleep because if you don't know all the health benefits of sleep and the negative things that can happen to you if you don't sleep, just go look it up. Like I'm laying in the bed, I'm like, dang, I'm shortening my life right now by 5 years by not falling asleep. So I had to get a grip on life, okay? I started listening to some good, is it fiction or nonfiction? I always get it mixed up. Fiction, this is what I made up when I was a kid. Fiction is fake and nonfiction is non-fake. So fiction. Fiction before bed, okay? I need to listen to a made up story that's going nowhere. In terms of podcasts, I listen to the You Up podcast just because, and I don't mean this in a bad way if anyone listens to the podcast, because I used to be obsessed with the podcast. I found it to get repetitive, but girl, not me getting out of breath on our walk. But I found it getting repetitive, but I like to listen to it because I already know what to expect. And I'm not the type of person that can just listen to like white noise or ocean sounds before going to sleep. Like I need to hear somebody talking to me. I also fall asleep with the TV on sometimes too. So the result of me putting that off time into my routine for not consuming self-improvement content has led to me having more sleep. There have been nights when I just didn't sleep. I went to sleep. I woke up around 2. I was up until 5 and I had a horrible time. There are other things that contribute to that as well, but definitely taking out the self-improvement podcast. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I spilled coffee on myself. It's on my shirt right here. I'm still a lady. I'm still a baddie. So let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it confused. Crank it up. Crank it up. Another thing that I did to try to balance my self-improvement with my mental health is essentially focus on living life. When you read these books, listen to these podcasts, watch these YouTube videos, that's all within a vacuum, right? It's just like school. You want to know, when am I going to use this in real life? You can learn all the trigonometry in the world, but you're like, miss, I will never have to use the Pythagorean, Baguette, you know, the parag of threum, right? You will never have to use that in real life. But I know that you can use self-improvement and self-development content in real life. So you may feel like I need to lock in. I need to focus on this. And yes, true, you can use it, but when are you going to use it? When are you going to use it? You can be the smartest, most developed, most knowledgeable baddie in the room, but if you don't know when, where, and how to apply the skills that you cultivated through listening to this content, I had to make some lighting adjustments. I completely forgot what I was saying. But I feel like we're the generation of the intellectuals, right? We know how to read, we know how to write, we know how to vocalize, we know how to do all of these things, but put it into practice, actually. And that's a part of the reason why I also wanted to start making more vlog content, because I don't know, it's difficult to just sit there and constantly come up with these ideas or think about my own life and think about things I wish I knew and just all the time. I still love making that type of content and I will keep making that content. I just need to put in more types of content. Like I said, this is you showing rather than telling. The authors of these podcasts and the books, they mean well. I'm one of them. Content creators, we mean well. But at the end of the day, you know you the best. You know what goes on in your life. You know your triggers. You know your tics. You know your strengths. you know how your life works. So reading these books, they work for the masses. I would always say there's something that works for the masses, and then you have to individualize some things. Now, the books may work for you. I feel like I've read some books where I was like, wow, this is great. This is a great nugget that I'm going to take and apply to my book, apply to my life. And sometimes I was just like, this doesn't apply to me. Like, I think about the book Lean In. I read that when it first came out. And when I read it, I was like, that's not for me. This not for me. I remember actually after I read it, I was like, well, how do I felt then my life wasn't in a place where that advice applied to me. So I must be on one of the wrong paths in life. Now, I was young and eventually I whipped it into shape, but I just wasn't in a place where that advice applied to me. And I thought that, damn, I need to get my life to a place where this advice does apply to me and I can use it. Because at the end of the day, I write a book, I create YouTube videos. Who's to say that my opinion is the opinion you should listen to? Your life may not be in the same place as mine. When I speak, I know where I'm speaking from, right? I know that I am a woman in her 30s, established, don't have many stresses, no kids. So I can afford mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially to do a lot of the things that I talk about. But that doesn't apply to everybody, right? So you have to pick and choose what you want to apply to your life. Let me go back to my original point. You need to focus on living your life in a meaningful way, whatever that means to you, and figure out how to... That scared me. It's going to sound like this for a while, so I'll stop recording after I get the statement out. Focus on how you want to show up in that place rather than what they told you in a book. If what they told you in the book or the podcast or my YouTube video doesn't apply to you, you feel like, I don't want to do that, then figure something else out. Okay, I'll come back because this is going to keep making this noise. Okay, I'm all done walking on my treadmill and I'm clearly ready for work. You can see I'm wearing a little something. I've been really trying to dress up more for work when I feel like it, especially when I feel myself going into this hole because it's cold. There's no sun out. I mean, it's bright out, but the sun is not out. But I wanted to wrap up my thought I had on the treadmill before I get into my work day. So the solution for that, I think, is to engage in a focal hobby or some sort of activity. You need to put your focus into somewhere, because if you are constantly putting your focus in your brain and you're just constantly circulating in your brain, thinking about when are you going to apply these lessons? When are you going to do better? When are you going to do this? It won't work. I found that with dance. I've been able to take a lot of the things that I've talked about, and though they are theories, they apply literally in dance class, right? Believe in yourself first when no one will believe in you. That plays out in dance class all the time. Don't count yourself out. Stop playing small. Take action first. Evaluate the data. Then do it again, right? Do it scared. So all of the things that I preach and other self-improvement, self-development, content creators preach, it's true. However, if you don't put it into real life, if you don't practice it, then it's pointless. So getting some type of activity, preferably a hobby, where you can focus all that energy into, and you'll see yourself improve over time, right? Because we as humans do want to see improvement, but I don't think we need to try to maximize every single part of our lives. So I know dance is one place where I want to focus and improve on. That is where I can take all of my self-development stuff and focus into. And the last thing I'll talk about is how to make self-improvement fun again. It got to a point for me where it was just like, girl, the habit trackers, they could get a little stale, right? The making sure you do your morning routine every day, that can get stuck. I'm going to do a whole nother video about morning routines because I don't believe in having a morning routine for a successful person. You know, I've been thinking about it. My morning routine definitely changes by the season. When it's cold outside, I'm in no rush to get outside and take Pierre for a walk. I'm not. It's too cold. But in the summertime, yes, I'm up and at 'em. The days longer, you know, so there are different ways to approach it. So I'm going to do a whole nother video about the different morning routines, but I do think morning routines should have like a solid 3 things in them. But making self-improvement fun again, making it flexible. Okay. I've made a bingo board for this year. And that's how I've been keeping track of like my big goals. So even though I still have big goals for the year and I usually just write them out, I just put them in a bingo board. And honestly, I have too many in there. They are just everywhere. Like, let me get my bingo board and read a few things. I lost my bingo board. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it today. But on my bingo board, for instance, like I have these big ambitious goals that I'm just pursuing. Like I have a plan. Yes, I do my monthly reflections. I set my monthly goals to reach that point. But I think that that's fun for me, right? I set this goal for the month. At the end of the month, look back at it, see if I did it. And at the end of the year, check and see like all the things I did leading up to that point. If I hit something along the way on my bingo board, awesome. And my bingo board is a mix of big goals. They're a mix of random things. Like, I think go on a solo retreat is one of them. Like I want to go to like one of those retreat resorts, and that's like on my bingo board. Y'all, I don't know where my bingo board is, and that's so sad. Some other ways that I've been able to gamify self-improvement is like just writing down my wins for each day. That's also a really nice reflective practice, like celebrating those small wins each day, because when sometimes you wait on the big wins take a long time to come. It's demotivating. So focusing on your small wins per day is great. Now I do know where that is. So I've just been putting them in my planner. So for instance, yesterday was Monday. So my 3 wins for the day was I went to Crawfish Cafe. That's a new restaurant. You saw that earlier. A new restaurant that just opened and I wanted to go. We wanted to go. And we also went to Paris Baguette, which is the bakery next door to it. So that was a win for me. Finally got out. Second win was I completed an F45 class. Baby, them F45 classes ain't no joke. Y'all that just go to those classes regularly, you strong. And I thought I was strong, but I was sadly mistaken. So completing that class was an accomplishment. And then 3, prepped for the upcoming week. And in parentheses, I put big thanks to Eric. So we got to finish our meal prep, laundry. Eric did like 90% of the laundry. I helped fold a little bit. So I'll say he did 95% of the laundry. And then he cooked the meats and the pasta for this week too. So those were my wins for yesterday. Those are small things, but those were the wins. So I encourage you to write down your wins every day. I don't do it every day. Sometimes I forget, but I don't like when I forget. Like this is my thing that I want to do. Like write down my wins. So I don't have any as of now to-dos or wins for Tuesday. So I think today is really get into work because I took off on Friday and today is Tuesday. We didn't have work on Monday. So catching up on work really. Probably start editing this vlog. So that was my little chat about like how to make self-improvement fun again and a part of your life, because I got to the point where I felt burnt out by self-development. So other people have felt the same way as well. So I will wrap that up, continue with the rest of my day. And I think today will be my last day with this vlog. I'll wrap it up. We'll just go through today together. And yeah. All right. Let me know in the comments what you think about self-improvement and like balancing your mental health. Like, what are some things that you've done to balance them? But also, how do you feel about this topic? One big part that I left out in my little chat earlier is the fact that ultimately we're all human. So to think that you can optimize yourself in your life to be perfect is flawed. You cannot do that. So embrace your flaws, embrace the fact that you aren't perfect. Yes, you could try to be better each and every day. It's all about being a little better each and every day. And sometimes you aren't. Sometimes you just stay the same. That's okay. But just realize that you are human and you are meant to make mistakes and you're meant to learn from them. So don't think that because you still react to your triggers or that because you still do have this judgmental attitude towards people, or you still do have people-pleasing tendencies, that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are human. We all have our flaws. We all have our things we're good at as well, right? So just live with that. I remember at work one day, we had a question, like a team building question about like, what's a system in your life that you've perfected? They were like, oh, Quenisha's gonna have a good one. I know Quenisha's gonna have a good one for this one. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like my life itself is great, right? I don't have a system that is perfect, because some days the systems don't work. Some days the systems do work. It just depends, right? And I told them that I've just come to the conclusion that things will work out when they will, when they're supposed to. There's a season in life for everything. Like, I'm just like not as stressed about things being 100% perfect 100% of the time anymore. And that was my response, you know? So I couldn't say that, oh, my morning routine is tea. I think it's tea, but it's also not perfect. I can't say that I've worked out this perfect equation. And I know that there are perfect morning routines out there, but I can't say that I've used those and I'm like, my life is exponentially better because of that. Sometimes some of those morning routines take forever. Like, if when I look at some morning routines, people have morning routines that are 4 hours long, right? Or nighttime routines as well. That's not for me. Some days, sure, that's cute. I'll even vlog it when I feel like doing it. But it's not realistic 24/7. I just wanted to add that in there. I'm just gonna make some tea right now. Serving size, how many calories are in these? Do you think I'm just doing this just
oh my
to
god, let me be on a vlog. Hey y'all!
I'm definitely putting music over this.
You!
I'll keep that part in there.
Lots of energy this morning. I also have that connection with Brittany. She's just a really fun and exuberant person, and I'm very outgoing, and I have a lot of energy myself, so I feel like
I had like 2 hours of footage, maybe 2.5. I just really had to get that done. I really wanted to get that done because
Coming out of the basement is probably the hardest thing I do all day. There's almost nothing in this world that can compare to because
so I'm trying to get back to tracking my food. I stopped tracking for a minute, and I really want to get back to tracking it. I feel like I took a nice little break. It was cute. We had a kiki, but now I want to get back to tracking it. So I'm making a salad right now for dinner, and hopefully everything is tracked well. I usually don't track veggies at all, so like the cucumber and stuff, I'm not really measuring.
Until I started high school, I was 800 pounds, 18, I was 350 in the state.
Like, Eric's making chili cheese dogs, and he took his bun and put a cheese stick inside to melt it. He wanted me to clarify that I had a craving for, I'm clarifying, I had a craving for chili cheese dogs 2 days ago. we got the things we needed to make chili cheese dogs. I got my fix of chili cheese dogs. Now he needs to finish the hot dogs. So that is why he's eating chili cheese dogs and I'm eating a salad. He did a really good job. He's really good at food presentation.